I am so excited to share these thrift store makeovers with you that are not only budget friendly, but are so unique. Hey there, it's Donna. Welcome to my channel. I found this beautiful ceiling mount globe from the thrift store for $4.99. I thought it was so beautiful. I loved the flowers. I loved how the glass was frosted. I didn't need the base to this, so I did remove that, and I'm going to set that aside and save it for a project later on. I just needed the globe portion. If you'd like, you could do this project with the base as well, but I chose not to. I'm going to be using these beautiful fairy lights. There is a strand of 30, and you can see how it's just got a little tiny battery pack. I got this from a local store here where I live, but you can use any battery operated lights that you have. I like to add just a touch of hot glue to the top the top light, and then I like to press that into the top of this globe, and that way here the lights will be spread out throughout the entire globe. Now, I have made something like this before for a fall project. I'm going to have that project linked down below for you so you can check that one out as well. So I'm going to fill up my globe with these beautiful fairy lights. I am going to leave the battery pack just outside of this, and I'll show you here why in a bit. I'm going to be using this made over candlestick holder that I got from Dollar Tree. The globe does not sit in it because it had a sloped edge, so I'm going to be using this canning lid on top of the candlestick because the globe fit in that. I didn't like the color of my canning lid ring, so I'm going to cover it with this beautiful linen cotton fabric from burlapfabric.com. You can paint yours if you'd like, but I was all out of the paint color that I used on the candlestick, so I chose to go this route instead. I'm going to just use some hot glue to adhere the ribbon to the edge, and then I'm going to be gluing the ring to the top of the candlestick. Now, you may be able to find a candlestick that will fit your globe that you find just fine, but since I didn't have anything that fit mine, I am improvising. So I've got the canning ring all covered. Now I'm going to attach that to the top of the candlestick, and I am going to be using just some hot glue for this. Of course, you can use any glue that you like. I'm just going to work quickly here because the glue does set up quickly on the metal ring. I'm going to press that into place, and it didn't take very long, and it was all set, and that's ready to decorate. So I'm going to be using these faux garland pipe cleaners that I got from my local craft store. I heard that you can get these at Hobby Lobby, so you'll want to check that out. I'm going to be using 2 of these, and I'm going to just twist them together just to make it a little bit more full. You don't have to use something like this. You could use a pre-made wreath, a candle ring if you'd like, or you can use some other greenery. I'm just using this because I discovered that it fit around my candle ring perfectly. So I'm gonna just attach that to the ribbon here. The ribbon made a really nice base for me to attach all my decorative elements. Now at this point I realize I'm like, shoot, I should have looking at this, I should have lifted the greenery up just a little bit more, but I didn't. But that was okay, I made it work. I'm going to use these pip berries that I got from Dollar Tree a couple of years ago, and I'm just going to wind them around just to make sure I had enough to go around. This adds a beautiful little Christmassy touch. And now I'm just going to start to glue this into place, and that will help hide the rest of the candle ring. I didn't want too much of it showing. I did want a nice decorative touch for Christmas. I'm just adding some little dabs here and there of the glue, and as you can see, I'm kind of like waving the garland up and down around as I wrap this around. It is made of wire, so it's really easy to do that, and adding the glue will just help to hold that all into place. You could add some flowers or some pretty little Christmas bells. That would be a nice touch as well. So I'm just going to glue that, and then I really liked it, but I wanted to add just a little bit more, so I'm going to be adding these cute little cedar pine cones. Yes, these are from cedar trees. I found a beautiful tree out in the forest that I had foraged That video will be linked down below for you so you can check that out. I'm just going to add those here and there. Of course, you can use any kind of pine cone. I know there's aspen pine cones and hemlock pine cones as well that are nice and small. So I'm going to add those little guys, and it looks so good. Now I'm going to attach the battery pack to the base of the candlestick, and you can see how nicely this all fits together now. And it's so easy to get at the battery pack and turn the lights off and on as needed. And this would make a beautiful gift, a hostess gift. I just think it is gorgeous. So I do believe these are for some curtains. They're little curtain rings for a curtain rod, and I thought they were so cool. I really like them. They're nice and big and chunky, and they've got a little eye hook. I got this yarn here from the thrift store and the other one from my local dollar store. I thought they were beautiful texture. So I'm going to start off with the one that I got from the thrift store, the yarn from the thrift store. I just straightened out my eye hook. And it was kind of fraying on the one end, so I am going to just tie a knot to stop that from fraying for now as I work on this project. I'm going to use some hot glue and just glue it onto the top of the ring, and then I'm going to just pull a long strand of the yarn. Now, I've been asked several times where I get my yarns from. I typically get a lot of it from thrift stores, and I also get them from my local dollar stores, or I'll even get them on clearance from Michael's. So as you can see, I'm just going to be wrapping this wood ring with my yarn. This is a nice wool. It's so, so pretty. And I really like the chunky texture that this gives. So I'm just going to continue to wrap that. And I'm going to push the strands together and add a little dab of hot glue once in a while as I go along to wrap this all up. And it'll help hold it in place. Once you get to the top, you're going to add a little dab of hot glue and press the strand into place. I decided to cut that knot off now because it was just standing out too much and it was kind of getting in my way. So I just trimmed that off, and I didn't have much yarn left here, so I decided to wrap the rest of it just sporadically around this little wreath that we created. And then I'm going to glue the end into place as well, just to help to hold that all together. So at this point, you can leave this as is. I decided to, but you can decorate this as well. You could add some little berries, flowers, some little wood snowflake embellishments would be pretty as well. I'm going to add this beautiful faux fur yarn that I got from my local dollar store. It's beautiful. It feels so, so soft, and it's got such a beautiful look to it for the winter time. So same as before, I just glued the top into place, and I'm going to just wrap my wood round piece here with the yarn. It did get kind of tangled up a little bit, so just be aware of that when you're using this. But I did discover this yarn is actually quite forgiving. There was a right and a wrong side to this, but as I was wrapping this, I noticed that it actually didn't affect it. It was very, very easy to use. I did every once in a while tack it down with some hot glue to help hold it all into place. And I just continued to wrap it, and then I just glued the one end off. I didn't have to double this up. It was so nice and fluffy. And again, you can decorate this any way you'd like, but I like the simplicity of it just as is. I got these beautiful jute twines from Michael's a couple of years ago on clearance. I have seen them there before, so if you're interested, I would definitely check out your local store. It has a beautiful strand of some gold thread throughout. Just going to put it through the ring, the eye ring, and then I'm going to just tie a simple knot. And then I've decided that I just want just a touch of a little bow at the top just to help hide the eye hook a little bit here. So I'm just going to wrap this around. You can make a bow and glue it on if you'd like. I chose to just tie it on like you see me doing here, and just trim off the excess, and then it's ready to be hung on the tree. You could make a set of these to give as a gift. I think that would be absolutely beautiful, or you could use them at a table setting as well for a nice, beautiful decorative touch. This has got to be one of the coolest bottles I have found at the thrift store. I have no idea what it's from. I'm going to guess that it's a liquor bottle, but I'm not totally sure. So if you know, let me know down below. I got it for $2 and I just removed the lid and the ring that was around it. I took it outside and I gave it a coat of the frosted glass spray. And the reason for that is because I wanted to change the color of this. I wanted to create an old kind of amber glass look. So I'm going to be using some archival ink in the potting soil and sepia colors. I'm using a makeup sponge to dab it on. I'm starting off with the potting soil. Now I used the frosted glass spray because I find that the archival ink sticks nicely to the frosted spray and it doesn't lift as I'm working, which is a nice touch. I tried several other techniques on trying to create a vintage amber glass look, and I found that this was the most effective for me. If you have some other techniques, please feel free to leave those suggestions in the comments. Like I said, I had tried several techniques already on how to create it, and this worked out the best for me. So I'm going to go in now and add the sepia. I found that the potting soil gave it a nice darker rich color, but the sepia helped to give it a bit more of that amber glass look that I was going for. You can see the color difference here. Now I'm going to give the entire piece a coat of both colors of my ink, and each step along the way I am allowing everything to dry well before I work on the next layer. I find that the frosted glass look also gives it that kind of grungy look that you'll see in vintage glass as well. I think that this is looking so beautiful, and you can see how well it even works on the texture, such as the roof of this bottle as well. So I'm going to give it a coat of this semi-gloss clear Rust-Oleum sealer, and that will help to protect the ink. It won't come off now, which is great. It looks absolutely beautiful. I allowed it to dry well. Now I'm going to be adding these bottle lights. These are nice, beautiful fairy lights. I believe it's a strand of 20 or 30 lights. I can't remember exactly. It wasn't in the package any longer. I'm going to feed those in, and then you can see that the battery pack and switch is like a little cork. Next, I am going to add some jute twine around the top of the bottle. You could use some yarn, or you could use some beautiful string or ribbon that you have. I really like the look of the jute twine. It is a nice neutral color. I'm just wrapping it around the top of the bottle, but I'm being sure not to cover up the battery pack because I need access to be able to change those batteries, as well as be able to turn that switch on and off as needed. I'm sure you could create some kind of a sleeve or whatever to go over top of that to hide it, but for what I'm going to be doing, I didn't need to do that. So now I've got a nice base to work on to create a nice little decorative element. I'm putting the switch and the battery pack at the back just so I have easier access. I'm using some beautiful faux greenery that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start to glue those on. I like to trim off the backside just so that it sits flatter against the surface that I'm working on, and the jute twine gives a nice base to work off of. So I'm just going to continue to work on this, add all the little beautiful decorative touches to create a nice little arrangement at the top of this bottle. I decided to add a loopy jute twine bow to the center of this little arrangement. I'm going to put that into place, and then I'll continue to add some greenery, and I also have some beautiful little hemlock pine cones that I had foraged as well. Again, that will be in the video that I share down in the description box for you. They are such a nice little pine cone to use for crafting. Some berries would be really pretty as well, or some florals. You could even use those laser cut wood embellishments too. I wanted to add just a few little bells. I felt like these brassy gold color bells kind of tied in with the color of the bottle. You could use some little antique bells as well. That would be a pretty touch too. But I like how this is turning out, and I think it is such a unique piece to have for your Christmas decor. I got this desktop organizer from Value Village for $3.99. I actually really liked it as is, but I didn't like how the label the label holder was crooked. So I'm going to use this little chalkboard wood piece and a magnet to cover that up. I'm just applying the magnet to the back of this little wood piece, and I tested to make sure that the magnet would stick to this first before I went ahead with this step. If it doesn't work for you, you could use some Velcro instead. So the magnet fits in there nicely. Now I'm going to use this faux greenery pipe cleaner again, and I'm going to add a Christmassy touch to this little chalkboard piece. I like to pull back on the pipe cleaner because that kind of fluffs it up a little bit, just so it doesn't look like it's so, I don't know, machine made. I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to attach this. Now I'm going to go in and add some beautiful little pip berries. I like to just cut them off of the wire, and I'm going to glue those into place around my little sign that I've made here. And you could, again, use bells, little flowers, whatever you have. I know Dollar Tree has some like sparkly little vase filler as well. I think that would be a pretty touch too. I'm going to use a sticker here. You could use a white marker to fill this in and write a saying. I chose to just use this pretty little snowflake white sticker that I had. It is clear. I just added that to the center and put that into place. Now I decided that I wanted to create a little Christmas activity center. So I'm going to add this really nice sticker activity book, this word search. It's a Christmas edition, and a vintage Christmas Carol songbook that I got from the thrift store. And I also got these old vintage Ideals Christmas magazines. I'm going to tuck one of those in there. And I've got this nativity magazine. It's so beautiful, and it tells the Christmas story. Tuck that in. And I also got this vintage Victoria Christmas book. I thought it would be a nice little book to have tucked in here for the holidays, as well as a nice coloring book. And then you can add anything that you would like. You could make this into a little wrapping station as well. I thought that would be fun. I decided to add these beautiful vintage cards, Christmas cards that I got from the thrift store for anybody who wants to write a quick little note for, say, a teacher or a friend. And then I got these ones. They are so beautiful. I got them from HomeSense. They are a beautiful woodland scene. I'm going to just tuck a few of those in there as well. And they've got some beautiful envelopes that go with it. They've got a cute little deer scene there. I'm going to just tuck those in. And now I'm going to add some pens. So I've got this little glass bottle. My pens fit in there nicely. You could add some markers in here if you'd like. That would be a nice touch as well. I have these clips. I'm going to add those to the front and then put some little Christmas tags. These are some vintage Christmas tags that I found at the thrift store. I think they are so fun, and add just a nice little decorative touch to this as well. You could clip some stickers, add some bows, any other little decorative touches that you'd like. That would be useful for the Christmas season too. So I wasn't exactly sure what else to add, so I wanted just to add a little decorative touch here at this point. So I'm adding this battery operated candle that I got from Dollar Tree. I also thought, ooh, let's add some candy canes, something kind of fun and a nice little treat, something festive to make it really look Christmassy now. So I'm just going to arrange those into place. But of course, like I mentioned before, you could add markers here too. I had this beautiful black and red, kind of like a buffalo check. It's more like a gingham. I'm going to just slip that in there, and I'm going to use another clip to help just add the end on the outside, so I knew that there was some ribbon there and it would be easy to access that by grabbing a strand. You could tuck a pair of scissors into the box as well. I'm going to add some more little tags. I had these little die cuts that were really pretty. I thought they would be a nice little touch. You could use these as a gift tag as well. Some cookbooks would be a really fun touch in here too. I thought that would be something kind of fun and have it stored in the kitchen. I've got these faux evergreens that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut them down, and then I'm going to move the branches a little bit. That way here that you'll see them a little bit better. And I'm going to tuck these in around the candle because I felt like it just was lacking a little bit of something. And I felt that that was a really nice, pretty touch for this. So I'm really happy with how this is looking. I'm just going to add just a few more die cuts and little touches, and then you can put this on display. It is such a fun thing to have for the family, and like I said, you can customize it any way you'd like, and you can change this up seasonally as well. Let me know your favorite project by dropping me a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed. It was so fun to have you here today, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.